In WordPress, there are two ways to create menus. The first way, the default way, is they're automatically added to all of the pages. This is on the pages page, so you can see here are all of the pages in this sample site right here. The other way is under Appearance tab and Menus. We'll come to that in a minute. First off, we'll look at this here. And for right now, I'm simply going to only display the published pages to avoid confusion with the other ones. Within the page itself, I have made some of these, such as Kim Tours, Packing Points, and Sample Page, child pages of another page. Their parent page may or may not be travel. That's just the way it happens to be listed. This is the actual site. So right now you can see that Kim's Tours, Packing Points, and Sample are children pages under travel. Then under travel tips, there's hotel hints. Blog has PDF. So here, I'm going to use the quick edit. You can also see this in the edit. I'll show you that in a minute as well. If I click quick edit, right here it shows the parent page. There is no parent. This lists all of the published pages here. Notice the order number of 100. The default number here is always 0. I changed it to 100 to make this the first page. I could have chosen 1 and then made the second page 2 and the third 3, etc. in the menu going from left to right. But if I want to add another page in between page 1 and 2, I'd have to reorder everything else. Extra work, not interested. So instead, I used 100, 200, 300. Then if I later decide to add another page, say between 2 and 3, I can use any number between 200 and 300, and I just type that number in, I'm done. Don't have to change anything else. Up here, so this would be 100, 200, and so forth, or 1, 2, 3 at the very top level, 4, 5. You can use any numbering scheme you want. If you have them all as 0 back here instead of this 100, for example, I will cancel this, and I think this one has the default order 0. There's Kim's Tours, which is under travel. Another one, Packing Points, also under travel, of 0. And then Sample Page, again under travel, of 0 for the order. When you have them all as 0 for the order, or if you have two of the same number, whatever number that may be, WordPress will decide what it wants to put first, second, third, or left to right. If you want to control the order from the pages itself, I'll actually look at the edit menu of the travels page to show you. Same thing right over here in the page attributes area. There's no parent, and the order is 100. That's exactly like in the quick edit. Again, this is where I had previously entered the 100 or 200 or 300 or 10, 20, 30 instead of 1, 2, 3 to make it easier if I decide to reposition the pages and not make extra work for myself. So instead, all I did was change the numbering sequence here. Instead of 1, 2, 3, I used 100, 200, 300. For travel tips, I came back here and I decided to position that a little bit later, so that's 250. And then the one to the right of that is 300. I had the 100, 200, 300, decided I wanted travel tips between 200 and 300, so I just arbitrarily chose 250. I could have gone 201 or 299. It would be the same end result. If I do nothing else, the sequence of these numbers in the order, that will control the sequencing of the pages from left to right and in the drop down. And that was the original way that WordPress did it. A newer way since version 3. something is over under Appearance and Menus. Here is the menu structure. I've already done some work on creating this. I created a menu, gave it a name, called it Main because it's the main navigation, or main nav as it's sometimes called. That's the one up here on the top. Now, some themes can have 2 or maybe even 3 menus, such as the top one, possibly a sidebar, and maybe even a footer menu. That is theme dependent. For right now, I'm going to focus on the main nav. So over here, these are a list of all of the possible items that can be included in the menu. Well, here's the most recent pages I've worked on. I could say view all, and that will give all of them as well. I select which ones I want to add, and I believe most of these are already over here. I just simply select whatever I want and click Add to Menu. They will display over here. Then if I want to move things around, I can do that. If I want packing points to be under travel tips, I just click and drag it to the right a little bit. That way it indents under it. Photos page, I'll put that under tour company info. And okay, I do have some more. There's Kim's Tours as well. I will click add. I have to scroll down to see that one, and I want that under tour companies as well. I just click and drag, and I can bring this even further under here if I wanted. That doesn't make sense, so I'm not going to do it that way. I can also down here auto add new top level pages to this menu. Notice here I can tell it that within the theme this is going to be the top primary menu instead of the secondary menu in the sidebar. Something you cannot do, or at least not as easily, from the old way of WordPress is here I can add categories to the menu. So if I want to include testimonials, which is a category, it's not pages, it's simply a category, I can say add a testimonials here, and there it is. And it shows me that it's a category. Something else that is a lot easier to do here is if I want to change the link name of the menu without affecting the actual title of the page. Currently this page is titled Tour Companies Info. That's kind of long for a link, so here I click the down triangle on page to expand that, and I just come in here for the navigation label, delete the word info, and that's it. That has changed it. At some point I do need to save my work, so I've saved this particular menu. Notice menu has been updated. If I now want to create a second menu, I could just come over here, click create, give it a name, preferably something descriptive of the location such as sidebar or footer, start create, and then just go over here. I can have the same pages listed in multiple menus. That's a design decision. Now I'm going to manage locations. For the top primary menu, under assign menu, select main. This is one place that you can tell WordPress which menu to use as the primary menu. We'll see the other place in a minute. I'm going to choose edit to return to the edit menus tab. I could have also just clicked edit menus after I saved changes on this page. Always remember to save your changes. I want to add a link to another external website to my menu. I open the links area, simply type the link here. That would be the actual type, the displayed text in the link text box. For the actual URL of that link, it's much safer to open a web page to that website and then copy and paste the link address or the URL rather than typing it in. That way you avoid the risk of typos, which will not work correctly. I add to menu. There it is. And that's fine where it is right now. I'm not going to bother with repositioning it. Then when I refresh and check the visible site, I see the change. The Skillforge training link is there. Always test it. Okay, well there it is. Boom, that works for that link. There is the one other thing that you do need to do for this, and that is you have to tell WordPress which menu to use where. This is the other place, as well as under the menus option, that you can specify which is the primary, secondary, etc. menu. And this is done in the customizing and then navigation. The main menu had already been added to the navigation area. I know that because we were able to see the changes we made to it. Let's take a look and verify that. Right here, this is why that menu worked. The top primary menu is main. If I change that to select, which means I have not said use it if it's main, then I save and publish. I come back over here and refresh again. It goes back to using whatever is on the pages, those numbers in the page order. If you want more control over the menu structure and content, create and save the menu under Appearance, Menus, then either use the Manage Locations or customize navigation areas to assign the menu to either top, sidebar, or whatever is appropriate. Congratulations, that's all there is to creating WordPress menus. The structure or sequence of the menu may not be as simple. One way to decide the best structure for a menu is to use post-it notes, one for each topic or page that will be on a menu. Then arrange them in a way that makes sense. try it out, and keep in mind that you can create different menus, test them, and then restructure it again if you don't like it. Just be sure to either delete or to rename the menus you are not using, possibly such as unused top menu, to avoid confusion in the future for yourself and or for somebody else who may take over and maintain the site.